Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. Continuing the serialization, now we are going to talk about some problems that we may face. First, the problem that you probably noticed is that we are storing the password. In our case right here, it's pretty easy to get the password back. So if anyone has access to this file, they will be able to figure out the user's password. Not ideal, and there is a way to tell Java, hey, I do not want you to serialize this or even read this if it is serialized. The word we need to use is transient. So basically, we are telling do not store, do not read back this file from the process of serializing. And we should get this working, but we will have a problem here. So the problem is that when you are serializing, Java needs to know the version for that class, especially because there are some cases where we are doing some changes and these changes, they are not always backwards compatible. So Java will always add a serial version UID. This serial version UID is like the security that Java has. It's something that they created basically using the name of the package, name of the class, and attributes, kind of like a hash that if this changes, it means that you have to either serialize again or give a serial version UID telling, hey, this is backwards compatible. So in our case right here, since we added the transient field, Java thinks that the changes are not backwards compatible. So how can we solve this problem? Two ways. First, we could serialize again and we would have the up-to-date state, or what we can do is add this serial version UID. So basically, for IntelliJ, if you press Ctrl Shift A on Mac is this one, you can search for this serializable class without serial version UID and you toggle on. Now you just press Alt Enter and you add this serial version UID number. Now, of course, we have to serialize again because this is not there yet. So I'm going to roll back and have the object exactly like it was before. And then I will create, serialize, and deserialize. So Ctrl Shift F10. So it worked. Now let's go back. And I will go back to my student. And I will say, hey, I don't want the password transient. Now Shift F10. And as you can see here, the password now is null, but the password is still there because we didn't serialize with transient. So now I'm going to go back to serialization test and say, hey, I want this state now. Shift F10. And if you go back here, there is no password anymore. So it will always be null. Okay, so this solves two problems. Now, what if we have relationship? That's interesting, especially when you don't have access, for example, to the source code. So let's imagine the following. We have student and we have another class called seminar. Seminar will have only the name. And we are going to create a constructor. And we are going to create toString. And we are also going to create getters and setters. And I can tell here that my student has a seminar. And I will add here. Now I'm not going to add to the constructor, but I'm going to add here seminar and seminar. And of course, getters and setters for seminar. Now let's go to the serialization test and let's execute Ctrl Shift F10. So as you can see, nothing happened because we are not trying to serialize the seminar. If we add here, so let's create seminar, new seminar, special seminar from DevDojo, and I will add to the student set seminar. Now, when we are serializing, it will try to serialize this seminar, and seminar does not pass is a serializable. Now, it's pretty easy. We could have just the implement serializable, but there are some cases that you don't have this power. You cannot change the code. So how do you solve that problem? Basically, you have to tell how Java can serialize that data and read that data back. For that, we need to create two objects, actually two methods inside of the student class. I will create after the student constructor. So the first method is, this is kind of like overriding a method. The name must be the same and the attributes as well that we are asking as argument. So since we are going to tell how to write, we need to create this write object, and this write object is getting as parameter, as argument, the object output string. Now we can add here add serial from java.io, and here we need to actually provide the okay, it's not this one. Probably IntelliJ will tell us what to do. Let's continue here, telling how the object should be serialized. So I will add a try catch because we are going to use the object output string. So basically what you have to do, you have to serialize whatever you can serialize, and then whatever you cannot serialize, you have to break it down into tiny pieces. So first we can serialize the student, right? So object output string dot default write object. When we do this, we are basically telling just serialize whatever you can. And now it comes the part where we have things that are not serializable. Let me remove this one. I was pretty sure that it was from java.io, but well. So how can we create a seminar? Basically, seminar only has one attribute. We cannot serialize the entire seminar, but what we can do is serialize the data that we have inside the seminar. So we have to serialize, and the order is pretty important because we have to read in the same order that we are writing. So we are writing the default, we are going to read the default. And then whatever we write after, we have to read exactly in the same order. Now, object output string, and what do I want to write from my seminar? So write, since I only have string, you write through the write UTF. And then you get here seminar.getName. So when I serialize, this is going to serialize the student, and then it will serialize just a regular string that represents the seminar name. Now we need to read. So I'm going to copy this and write object, read object, and it's not output string, it is object input string. Now try object input string, default write, default read. Object input string, you are writing UTF, read UTF. And of course, this is going to have to handle the class not found exception. So we are going to add here class not found exception. And we don't need to pass any argument. So I'm writing the default object, and then I'm reading the default object. I'm writing string, and I'm reading string. And this is totally up to the developer. That's why you have to keep track of everything that you're doing. So we have read UTF. This represents the seminar name. So now that I have the seminar name, it's pretty straightforward. We can create new seminar. Be careful, package X serialization. passing the seminar name. And I just assign this dot seminar, this new seminar. So basically you are kind of writing all the attributes from seminar, and then when you are reading back, you are going to build a brand new object and you are going to assign. Now let's try Shift F10. Okay, not serializable because we forgot to make this transient. Since you cannot use this seminar as like a default serializable object, we have to tell Java just ignore, and then when we are writing the object, we are going to get basically everything that we have inside the seminar, write it down, and then once we read the default object, we are going to read back everything and build a brand new. So again, Shift F10. And as you can see here, we have our object, including the seminar. Now, one thing that we are still missing is static attributes. So static attributes, for example, school name, they are not serialized. Remember, when we are serializing, we are saving the state of the object. And remember, static attributes, they always belong to the class. So for example, we can ignore here, 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 and let's go back to the toString, Control D, school name, school name. So Shift F10. Even though we are not serializing school name, it's available here. So remember, static attributes belong to the class. So you don't have to serialize because all the objects, they will technically have the same value for that attribute. So this is everything that I wanted to tell you. There are very low chances that you are going to use serializable in the foreseeable future if you are starting with Java, but at least now you understand how things works behind the scenes. So let's continue with a different topic in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Bye bye.